So what I'm going to be going through today before Cora takes it back over is I am going to start by giving you a brief overview on the benefits of Autodesk licenses either on an active maintenance plan, so those are perpetual licenses, or the fairly new subscription licenses on subscription contracts. We're going to jump right in and tour the Autodesk Account interface, and we're going to look at how to view and update your information in the Profile tab before jumping over to the Management tab, and I'll show you how to add a new user or edit access for an existing user or how to delete a user. We'll also just go through some of the areas where you can locate your contract details as well as your serial number, your asset details. And Autodesk has updated their content for their quick links areas. So I'll point those out and show you some of the updated content that they have started to include there. So what are the benefits exclusively to either licenses on an active subscription contract or a perpetual license on a maintenance plan? So product downloads is one of the obvious ones. You are available to an Autodesk account. They make it accessible where you can download your current version of your product as well as prior versions of the products that you have. You have flexible licensing, which means that you can use the current version as well as the prior versions if you have an active contract or an active plan. You also have the availability to use home use as well as use it outside your territory when traveling. In addition to the Microsol resources, Platinum troubleshooting support you receive by being our customer, Autodesk offers their subscription license holders the ability to get web support, either advanced support or web support through the Autodesk Account interface. Some software also includes cloud benefits. Now, cloud benefits aren't to be confused with Autodesk cloud subscription offering. Cloud benefits are integrated with some subscription and perpetual licenses, such as rendering or energy analysis that might come with your AutoCAD or your Suite software. And finally, the administrative tools are the tools that are within the Autodesk Account interface that allows you to view, access, manage, allocate your software to your team or to yourself. Now, before we jump into the Autodesk Account interface, I wanted to just point out that there are two specific roles in addition to being a user of a license. That's important to note when you are managing either a license just for yourself or licenses for your team. Two administrator roles are the contract manager and the software coordinator. By default, one person is assigned both those roles. So if you purchase Autodesk software, you by default, if you're just purchasing one license for yourself, are the user, but you're also the administrator in both roles. But if you're purchasing it for other members within your firm, then you would probably want to pay more attention to who's appropriate to hold these roles. The contract manager, who's the overall administrator for Autodesk Account software management, or the secondary software coordinator. And if you look at this slide here, you can see that a lot of the permissions are the same. There's just very few things that the software coordinator isn't able to do that the contract manager can do. And it's also important to note that these roles receive the emails that Autodesk sends out that communicates things that are necessary for asset management. If you have any questions about roles or what roles you might have or how to assign roles, we're going to go over that a little bit, but I'm not going to spend too much time on it unless somebody has a question. Type it in, and then I'll spend a little bit more time on it. All right, so Autodesk Account is the interface where Autodesk feels that they've really made a lot of improvements through the year, where it's very streamlined and you should be able to do just about everything you need to do when it comes to locating and accessing and deploying your software. So this is what the tabs look like here. We're going to dive right in a minute, but I just wanted you to get familiar with it. I'm going to point out that everybody who has Autodesk software has access to the products and services and reporting tab. However, the other three tabs, the devices, the users, and the billing and orders tab, is only available when you are an administrator, either contract manager or the software coordinator. So in case you are accessing Autodesk Account and you are not seeing all 5 of these tabs, that's an indication that you are not set up as an administrator. That's a mistake. Sometimes glitches happen. You can always let us know and we can have Autodesk correct that. All right, so let me click on this image and let's go ahead and poke around for the next few minutes in the Autodesk Account interface. So I've clicked on it and I go to Autodesk, I go to accounts.autodesk.com, and because I've been here before, it recognizes me, so it remembers my information. So when you sign in, there are 2 areas. There's the Profiles tab and there's the Management tab. Autodesk typically by default will take you right to the Management tab, which it appears to be accessing now for me. But if you, well, right now for the purposes of this webinar, we are going to go to the Profiles tab just so I can point out a few things before we jump right into the Management. But here's the Management tab, and what you should be seeing right now is a pop-up that came up. Anyone who is accessing Autodesk Account probably has seen this pop up already. It is an area that's letting you know some things have changed when it comes to specifically how you can access your software or dole out that access to your team. And if you're not familiar with these changes, I highly recommend you clicking on the Start Tour. It's going to show you 5 slides and show you some of the changes that have been made, which are important changes on how you can go ahead and manage access to this software. But for now, I'm just going to X out of this. I'm going to jump right up here to the Profile area. All right, so let's take a look at this. You've got a few sections here: My Profile, Security Settings, Linked Accounts, and Preferences. And here you can go ahead and hit Edit Profile. And what that would do is allow you to just change some of this information right over here. This information is really just mostly for your own knowledge, and sometimes it will be used by Autodesk in appropriate settings, but it's just for your own information here. But if you'd like to go ahead and hit Edit Profile, you can change certain things like your name, or you can change your address, and also like your password information, things like that. And let's just jump over to Security Settings. Right over here also is an area where you can go ahead and, if you needed to update your email or change your password, or if you wanted to enable the 2-step verification, if you wanted some additional security in how you access your Autodesk account, you could do that here. And we'll just jump over to Linked Accounts now. And I'll just point out that your area for Linked Accounts may look a little different than mine, because my account is not a commercial account, but it will look similar, if not exactly the same. But what you can do here is link some of your accounts to your social media. This is purely a way for Autodesk to continue to integrate social media into Autodesk Account. It's mostly just a preference. If you would like to explore this, Autodesk makes it available to you. And finally, Preferences. And Preferences is if you would like to change the language. I have English as my default, but Autodesk has a myriad of languages available for you in case that's something you would like to edit and change the language to. And over here you can choose the communication preferences that you would like and subscribe to communicating with Autodesk in a way that makes sense for you. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into the Management section now. And like my prior screen, this should look a little bit familiar, you know, with the products and services, the reporting, the devices, the users, and the billings and orders tabs. So it defaults to products and services, and here listed is all the products and services that you either have or that Autodesk is offering as a free, included in your subscription or your maintenance plan or trial basis. Sometimes it can be a little confusing. I can let you know that this is listed in alphabetical order, in case that makes it any easier for you. And you might have a ton of stuff and be like, wow, I didn't even know I had half this stuff, like online map data. Well, when you click on it, you either are going to realize that you either have it, or Autodesk is saying this is included as something based on the software you have, or hey, you don't actually have it. It's a free trial. You can access it now by signing up for a trial. They make it a little easier for you to locate what you would like to locate by this search bar right up here. There's also a filter section. Sorry, that was the delivery things. Apologize. But there is also a filter section where you can filter by either license type or version. So that does make it a little easier. But I want to point out that I'm going to just say, let's use one of these products, is Architect Engineering Construction Collection, as an example. So let's say that's what I was looking for. I wanted to see, I purchased software. I need to now allocate this software to some users. And I noticed that when I go to the Management tab and the Products and Services area, that I see my software here listed. If you want some more information, you can click the arrow to the left, and then a drop-down area will open up that gives you quite a bit of information, including what type of license it is, when it expires, how many seats you have available, and the license type, so the access type, things like that. There's also an area here that says More Actions. If you click on More Actions, the actions that are available additionally will pop up that are appropriate for this particular software. So you can see Show Downloads, Manage Users, things of that nature. Now, some of these actions are available in other areas of Autodesk Account in different tabs, but Autodesk is trying to put what they feel you need at your fingertips. So some things are going to be accessible in multiple areas. What I'm going to do today is I'm just going to point some of those out, but I'm going to show you best practices on how to do things like add or edit users. So once you see that your software is here and you've got 2 seats, even though it says 0 of 2 available, that's because I have these particular seats already assigned to users. But if you just purchased it, you should be able to see that the seats that you purchased are here available for assignment. So once you confirm that this product is available, what you can do is move from the Products and Services tab and jump down to the Users tab, which I'm going to do right now. When you get to the Users tab, what you're going to notice is you're going to notice that there's a list of existing users that are possibly here. What Autodesk did was that they populated this with information that they already had from their old system. So you may not have already added users, and users may already be here. Or this could very well be a blank slate where there's nothing here. But right now we have a list of users that have already been added by me or by Autodesk system. So what you see right here is a few columns that tells you the user's information, their name, first and last, and email address, their products and services that they've already been assigned to, the benefits that they've been assigned to, and there is an edit access area here. That's where you can edit the access for an existing user. There's also a column with an X for some of these users. The X indicates where you can remove that user by clicking the X. Now, I recommend that before you remove any user, it's very important that you first edit their access and remove their benefits and products and services, because you don't want these seats to go missing in action. You want to be able to have them here for reassignment. If you see a user like Cora Coates here where there is no X in the last column, that indicates that that user is an administrator, either the contract manager or a software coordinator. And there is a different way where you would manage and edit and remove these administrators, and that would be under the Quick Links area, under the Manage Software Coordinators area. If you click here, it will take you to a separate area that would allow you to edit the access for software coordinators. All right, so let me go ahead and show you how to add a user now. To add a user, you would go up to the upper portion and just simply click on the plus add. And what you need here is you need an email address, like I'm typing in now, and a first and last name. Once you have this information here, you can leave the I'd like to add access to the user now checked by default and click Save and Continue. Okay, so it's saying the following user already exists. So that would be me, and we're not out again. Would you like to update their user access? So that's fine. If this user didn't exist, that's me. You could, the same information would come up once I hit update. So what will come up is this pop-up window that allows you to give this user access to the product and or benefits that you choose. And for those of you familiar with Autodesk Account already, you might notice that there is a new tab here specifically for industry collections. That wasn't there before, but with Autodesk's newest product offering, the Autodesk Industry Collection suites of software, they decided to add this here because there's so much individual software within an industry collection. It just seemed like it would make more sense to have its own tab. So we knew that I had 2 seats, but they were both assigned. So I'm just going to, for this demo purpose, just pick anything that has seats available, like this one here that has seats available, and I'm going to show you how to assign it. You can click this arrow to the left here, and you're going to see what's going to open up is a drill down that shows you all the benefits, the services that are attached to this software, this particular software, that you can either individually assign by checking each one that you think you would like this user to have, or you can just assign them all by clicking this assign box next to the product name. Notice that whether you assign one or you assign all, this seat gets taken, right? It goes from 5 to 4. Just something to keep in mind. Once you go ahead and choose if you'd like to assign this user everything or just a few, you go ahead and click Save. And once you hit Save, what happens is this user, if they didn't already exist, would be now in your list, and you would be able to see that they have a product that you have just assigned to them. What also is going to happen is this user is going to get an email from Autodesk inviting them to Autodesk Account or informing them that their permission level has changed and they can go ahead and access their Autodesk account and obtain this new software that's been given to them. Now, like I said, if you want to edit access for an existing user or remove this user, please remember not to just remove them. You don't want to click this and remove them without first clicking the Edit Access and scrolling down and seeing what they're assigned to and then unchecking what they have been assigned to, clicking Save. And once this user has been unassigned any software, let me see here. Once this user has been unassigned the software, then you can go ahead and remove them. Seems like I'm assigned to something else here. So let's just try that one more time. You just go to Edit Access. You scroll, look and see if I'm assigned anything. It seems like even though I removed it, maybe it's just a little slow to realizing that I've been unassigned. So I'll just click Save again, and this should say 0 now, but because okay, here we go. Now it says 0. So once you see this 0, 0, you know that you are good to go when it comes to removing this user, as I'm going to do right now. So that is, in a nutshell, how you would go ahead and add, edit, or remove users. If you have any further questions, we can go through this a little bit later during the Q&A portion, or if you know, John may be answering some of these right now. And I just want to touch base on this report. Sorry. So we're going to jump from products and services and users, and we're going to go back up to the reporting section. So what the reporting section is it's really cloud credit reporting. a lot of Autodesk products have benefits that are related to the cloud services. It's where you can perform tasks using Autodesk cloud servers that consume cloud credits. And we could have an entire webinar on cloud credits. And I know a lot about cloud credits. I just don't want to take up this particular webinar and go into too much detail unless it's warranted. So any questions on cloud credits, just let John know and we can cover that in detail. For right now, I'll let you know that Autodesk gives every user that you add that has never consumed cloud credits before 100 starter cloud credits. So everybody who you add their email address and Autodesk recognizes that email to not have consumed cloud credits, they will give you 100 individual cloud credits. And you can monitor your own individual cloud credits as well as any purchase cloud credits in this section here. If you are a user, you will only see your individual cloud credits, and if you are an administrator, you will see not only your own individual cloud credits, but you will see your team's individual cloud credits, as well as any consumption of purchase cloud credits. And that would be in this section here. My area here looks a little crazy because for demo purposes, we make a lot of changes sometimes, and that's why you're seeing some of these error messages. Some of these error messages come up because I used to be administrator, but I removed myself for demo purposes, added someone else, and things like that. But this is how it's going to look for the most part. You're going to be able to see an area that looks like this, and if I scroll to the top, you will see that it's broken up into two areas here, my usage as well as all usage. And if you look to the left here, under the reporting, under the cloud service usage, you'll see an area that says by users. And this would be an area that the administrators would see. And if I click on the by users, this is where it really breaks down into some more detail, the cloud usage done by each user that is performing tasks that are consuming cloud credits. And as you can see, Autodesk has it set up where individual cloud credits are being consumed before any possible purchase cloud credits are being consumed. And because I'm an administrator for multiple contracts, that's why my list is a little bit lengthy with various contract numbers at times, but any administrator will see something very similar to this. And it's good, the way Autodesk is going with so many of their services being cloud-based, this is going to become of more importance if it isn't already. So it's great to be able to monitor how your team is consuming cloud credits so that you can make sure that you purchase cloud credits from us here at Microsol Resources in time whenever needed. So jumping over the reporting, I'm going to go to this devices area. And John Semmel is very familiar with the devices area, much more than myself, but I can let you know that this area here, the devices area, lists devices where subscription licenses are uploaded to. So this is a way for your administrator to be able to monitor what devices are currently accessing Autodesk software. Past that much, I'm not too familiar with, but that's why John's on this call. So any questions, particularly on the devices, John will be able to answer.
Yeah, I just want to clarify that what it does is whenever someone signs into the desktop app, which is used to download or update software, then it gets registered and managed devices. So for the most part, you won't really need to worry too much about that screen, but it's there if you need it.
Thank you for that clarification, what he said. So thank you, John. So jumping down, we did cover users, but I'm going to go ahead and go to this billings and orders area. And this has been around for a while, about a year I'm thinking, but this is a really great area because it quickly covers, what contracts you have as the administrator, and it covers the details of those contracts. And if you have multiple contracts like we do, you don't have to click on each one of these to see the details. You can just hover over each one of these and be like, okay, yeah, this is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for my fusion. And then when you click on it, you will see the details that you might find quite helpful. So right here, as you can see, just by clicking on it, lets me know I have 3 products, and of these 3 products, 12 seats. It gives me my support level. It lets me click on an area here to learn more about cloud credits. And this kind of cracked me up, this try and learn more. And I did click on that, and it's an area that takes you to outside of your Autodesk account interface. It takes you to a web page where Autodesk lists all their cloud product offerings right now. And yes, and you can read a little bit about it and see if there's any of those that you'd like to experience by purchasing or through trial. But if you were to scroll down here, there is a wealth of information on your products. But I am not going to really spend too much time on that, but there is quite a number of details, including serial numbers and access type, whether it's a single user or a multi-user. But because of some of our serial numbers being perpetual licenses, I'll just not demo that. But please feel free, if you are an administrator, to check out your billings and orders section, scroll down, and then you can have access to your serial numbers, product keys, things of that nature. It's very helpful information. And I just want to point out the quick links on each of these tabs. So for each of these tabs, what Autodesk has done is they've added a quick link section with relevant content. So the content is changing depending on the tab you're on. So for the products and services, they have quick links for products enhancements. They have an area here where you can generate your network license file. It's made generating license files a bit easier. They have the network license manager, and you can jump to view my cloud credits. Now, if you do that, you're just going to go to the reporting tab. But I just felt that would be a great area for them to also include it, because they're just trying to make sure that they're thinking like the way you might be thinking on where's my stuff. So if you click on reporting, you know, right here, the quick links is just going to say what's new in account. And if you click here, it'll take you to a website, a knowledge base by Autodesk that just lets you know what's new, what's changed. They also have a give feedback area, and you can sign up to start giving feedback to Autodesk. They'll ask you a couple of questions, and then you can start letting them know some of the things that might be important to you. If you're at the Devices tab, the Quick Links doesn't have anything besides the What's New, because there wasn't anything that was relevant for that particular area. And again, for the users, the Quick Links has the Managed Software Coordinator. So the Quick Links is a nice updated content that Autodesk has started to include. So I am going to just point out 2 things before I pass it to Cora, but there are some things I didn't cover, like support offerings and things like that, because Cora is going to be touching base on that. But let me just point out, it's right up here. It's right next to your profile icon, where you can go ahead and access your web support by Autodesk or your Autodesk advanced phone support, if you do have that. If you're curious about uplifting your support option with your products to Autodesk advanced support, which is Autodesk 24 hours a day, 5 days a week phone support, please don't hesitate to inquire at info@microsolresources.com, and we can talk to you about that some more. And one thing that I didn't touch on that I will spend 2 minutes touching on is Autodesk subscription licenses. Autodesk subscription licenses are basically the exact same software as perpetual licenses. The difference is they time out. They are on a term base. So Autodesk does offer subscription licenses with both single user and multi-user access. So that used to be referred to as standalone and network access. So that is available for subscription licenses when the term is at least an annual term. You have the option of a multi-user or a single user access for a subscription license. But there are some additional steps to getting your single user subscription license up and running. And we have quite a few blog posts on this topic, including my own, the Quick Start Guide to get Autodesk subscription licenses up and running. So we recently revamped our website, and we have quite a few blog posts, including this one that I mentioned that I would ask you to please, if you have a single user subscription license, I would ask that you please visit our website and search for our blog post on this. We have multiple blog posts by various authors on this that would be very interesting because it doesn't work exactly the same way. You can manage it the same way I showed you in Autodesk Account, but there are some steps to getting that software up and running that's required, that it's important for you to be aware of going so that you can go ahead and use it or get your users up and running with the software. So please check that out, as well as, you know, I think Cora will point out a couple of things, including our website, but I just wanted to also just mention we have a number of blog posts here, and you can go ahead and search, and you should be able to locate any type of blog, informational blog that you could also filter by category as well, in case you want to see anything on a particular topic, what type of blogs we might have. Okay, so with that, I just want to recap what I covered before I pass it to Cora. We went through a brief overview of benefits of Autodesk licenses on active maintenance plan and or subscription licenses. We did a tour of the Autodesk interface, and we checked out how to view and update your information in your profile tab, how to add and edit or remove users, how to locate your contract and asset details from that billing and orders area, and went over some quick links, as well as me pointing out that quick start guide. So with that, I am going to go ahead and pass this off to Cora, and I want to say thanks everybody for staying with me throughout my portion of this presentation.
Okay, so thank you, Rowena. That was great. Okay, so during my portion, I'll very briefly touch on downloading software, accessing flexible licensing benefits, and how to access support within Autodesk Account. So some of this will look familiar because of Rowena's tour. Okay, so I'm going to touch on downloading as it applies to both perpetual licenses on maintenance plans and also subscription licenses. And as you've already seen from Rowena's tour, the Autodesk Account interface is fairly intuitive. So under the Management tab, under Product and Services, locate the product you wish to download. Okay, so click on Downloads, and that will bring you to this pop-up. You can select which version you wish to download and click Download Now. By clicking on More Options, you can access the 3 download methods available in Autodesk Account. Availability of the download methods varies by product version and operating system. So select the option that best meets your needs. Okay, the download process is similar for subscription licenses. So find the product you wish to download under Products and Services and click Downloads to activate the pop-up window. Okay, and select your platform version and language and click the default download option. So make sure you have an active internet connection. This is important, and this is required for installation of subscription licenses. Rowena mentioned some of this when she referred to the blog, but note that for single user subscription licenses, users need to connect to the internet after 30 days to continue using the software. Okay, so another great benefit of Autodesk subscription and maintenance plans is having access to product updates throughout the duration of the contract term. So you can choose to ignore or download these depending on what you would like to do. You can also locate recommended updates and add-ons for specific products by opening up the drawer next to individual products and clicking Update and Add-ons. Okay, so benefits of maintenance plans and subscribing to Autodesk software include having access to previous versions of the software. Serial numbers for previous versions appear in the product details tray of your currently licensed software with an active subscription or maintenance plan. Now, if a message is displayed instead of a serial number, you need to take additional action to get a serial number for your previous version. This is typically required for customers with perpetual standalone licenses on the maintenance plan. And of course, if you do have any difficulty with this or you're not seeing a request link, please contact us and we can make the request on your behalf. Okay, so another aspect of Autodesk flexible licensing is home use. So for a single user permanent license on a maintenance plan, simply install your software on your home computer using your existing serial number. And likewise, for all Autodesk software on a subscription with single user access can be installed from any computer because it's based on a named user model. But for customers with multi-user licensing, contract managers and software coordinators need to request home use. So if you are a contract manager or software coordinator, you can find this option under the More Options menu next to the multi-user or network license product. This will bring up this pop-up box where you can formally make a request. So enter the version of the product along with the quantity and your contact information, and allow 24 to 48 hours for the request to be fulfilled. Okay, so global travel rights are yet another benefit of maintenance plans and subscriptions. For global travel rights to be applicable, the maintenance plan or subscription must have been purchased in the individual or legal entity's home country. There is no form to fill out or process required to enable this benefit. So this right permits the use of products and services worldwide while traveling outside the country of purchase. Okay, finally, I'm going to quickly go over how to access support within your Autodesk account. So make sure you have clicked on the Management Navigation pane at the top. And once again, I know this looks familiar because of Rowena's tour, but we're just going over it again. Okay, so then you'll click on the Support tab at the upper right-hand corner. And clicking Contact Us will take you to Autodesk Knowledge Network, where you are connected with different topics. This is a great resource. In some cases, you will be directed to directions or guidelines, but you may also be directed to a contact request form depending on what the issue is. You can find tutorials, troubleshooting articles, and other resources by browsing Support and Learning under the Support tab. So just something to keep in mind, and you can easily search by product. Okay, moving on to actually creating a support case. So select Management to view your products and services once again. You can hover over Support on the menu at the top and select View My Support Cases from the menu options. This option only appears for subscription and maintenance plan customers with support benefits. So select the support topic that best describes your issue and fill in the required information. You can attach any files such as screenshots or log files that may help the support specialist at Autodesk by clicking Browse and then hit Submit. And going back here, Rowena mentioned this as well, but for those of you with Autodesk Advanced Support, you can see your phone support information on the previous screen right here. And just a reminder that all Microsol Resources clients have access to our support team by email and by phone. So definitely keep that in mind as well. It's one of the benefits of being one of our clients. Okay, so just to recap, we went over how end users can download products, flexible licensing, and how to access support. And Autodesk is continuously making changes to make the Autodesk account interface more user-friendly, but this is a process. It's already changed in the past few months. Changes have been made. We'll work to keep you up to date with these changes, but please, once again, reach out to us individually with any questions if you need assistance accessing benefits. We can help you navigate on a one-to-one basis. All right, so thank you everyone very much for taking the time to be with us this morning. We really appreciate it. Have a great day.